Oh, Dragon Warrior. You wouldn't believe how much I got for this. This was about $6. And honestly, the first time I played it, I freaking loved it. As it got on, it got a little bit monotonous, but otherwise, I don't really see anything wrong with this game. Others might, but that's them. I am an RPG fanatic. I've played Pokemon since forever. Now, I get that's not a real RPG because of how easy it's gotten over the years, but forget it. This is Dragon Warrior for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, let's get on with the review. Dragon Warrior was released back in 1986 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. It was one of the first RPGs on that system that really stood out among the community, and there's a reason why for that. Because it sucked. Hold on, I have a point to this. It mainly only sucked because it was an RPG. Everyone had it on another system, or just wanted to play D&D instead. So, they came up with a solution. They packed it in with a subscription of Nintendo Power. Now, if that isn't a good marketing strategy, I have no idea what is, because dang, that's actually rather clever. People are already trying to buy in to Nintendo Power to seek new games. Why not just give them a new game within Nintendo Power? One that will bring up sales of the Nintendo Power comic stuff and whatnot, but it would bring up the sales of Dragon Warrior. And that's an ingenious plan. And this would go on to increase sales of Nintendo Power and would finally make Dragon Warrior mainstream. Now, this game, surprisingly enough, was made by Enix, which was later known as Square Enix, which would go on to be just called, just Square Enix. Or Square, I guess. That was really weird. But, anyway, not only was this done by the guys who would later do Final Fantasy, this would also be done, the illustrations would also be done by the guy behind Dragon Ball, Akira Toriyama, who would later do the Dragon Ball series, and dang, does his art look good. But it's weird. His weird connection with dragon-based stuff. I mean, yeah, Dragon Ball was his own thing, but it's a strange coincidence. In fact, on the American box art of Dragon Warrior, it looks like Shenron, now doesn't it? Very strange coincidence when you think about it. The more you know, I guess. But anyway, back on track. You play as an ancient hero from time. Not the hero of time, but you are the ancient ancestor of a very well-known hero. You claim as such to the king, and this starts your journey. You are given a few items to start out with in the main hub, where you also get to save. And yes, you will, as far as I know, you will have to trek back and forth just to save. It's a pain, yes. Though, it's just a pain. But anyway, after you first leave, you end up in this big old overworld. Now, yes, your body does look bigger than the castles themselves, but this is an early series RPG. It's not gonna look pretty, but here you'll find that this takes place within random encounters. Now, these encounters range very mildly, as you'll first only find slimes and red slimes. Now, it's key that you don't go much further from there, as that would be dangerous for your general health. Quite literally, your health points, or hit points, whichever you prefer to call them, will be severely drained if you get hit by some bigger enemies, like a Majik, or a wizard, or witch. I'm recording all of this before I actually trying to make any footage, so my memory on this is a little foggy. But anyway, you're gonna grind a lot while playing this game, and can you really blame anyone by the creators? Because this game is friggin' tough. This was not designed with gameplay in mind most of the time. Yes, I do enjoy this game, but it does have its flaws, and we have to address them. This game is good to me because I don't mind grinding, and honestly, that's a lot of the journey. Kind of a Dragon Ball sort of thing. It's kind of like that. If you enjoy Dragon Ball, you would enjoy Dragon Warrior, which is weird because, yeah, again, it was done by the same illustrator. A lot of the art, which is, again, very, very weird. But that's besides the point. The point right now is that it's grindy, and I don't mind it. Why? Because I'm a grinder. Wait, that didn't... forget it. Anyway, let's just continue. After about 10 minutes or so of beating the living crap out of slimes... Yes, I originally said something different, but it didn't sound right, so yeah, let's keep going. You can finally reach a nice little dungeon. In here, you play basically where the f*** do I go, just in a smaller room. You do, though, have a torch. You can get a torch from a town nearby, or you could probably learn a spell that can grant you this. But that's in a later time. Right now, you have to light a torch, and it doesn't even seem to be that effective, as it only lights 3 squares ahead of... well, 2 squares ahead of you. And that just sucks, because you'd think a torch would light more of a way. That would have to be a very large person in a very large room for a torch to be that ineffective. Even then, the torch would have to be... The torch is decently large, so it should provide a lot of light. But anyway, eventually you go to a lower floor and find a little thing that your father left behind. As a sort of a key, or basically it said, "Hey son, I left this for you so you would know how to get your way around. You are indeed the descent of an ancient hero. Don't let anyone else say different. And I'm leaving you this to tell you you are going on a very serious quest if the prophecy is correct." Why didn't I leave you anything else here? I have no idea. You're gonna have to do everything here yourself, just as I did. This is literally the only message I've left for you. I'm pretty sure you won't fight this for another 10 years. Okay, that last bit I ad-libbed, but yeah, it makes sense, because the dude doesn't leave you anything. Apart from that message, which is bull. But anyway, that was the first dungeon. You can't really find monsters here as far as I know. So you just go back up and start grinding. You can make your way to different places a little east from where you originally got after a little while, but other than that, you can't really go much anywhere else, really. It sucks, but that's life. But anyway, you just gotta grind the hell out of this game, because a lot of these enemies can get powerful and fast. So you kinda have to beat the living crap out of slimes and magiques, and they don't even really get that much EXP, and leveling up has to go through the king. So you really don't get anything out of it unless you have to go back and then go save. So all of it really ties down to the king himself. Which is fine, because you're not going to go far from the king himself. Because you're constantly grinding and have to level up near him. So let's just pray you don't get caught dying somewhere almost dead far away from the castle. Because if you die, you lose half your gold. Yeah, that sucks. And well, there's this wizard which can basically heal you. So you just, because you can get spells. Even though you're a warrior, you can also get spells which allow you to heal. So you just go to a wizard, he'll give you back the MP you lost, and then you just heal yourself and then heal your MP again. A lot of this game can be cheesed, but it's not a lot. And won't mean much, because you still have to go back to the castle to do this. Well, I guess the overworld is a bit small, so not like you can travel too far without dying. Because you can get a lot of HP once you level up, so you can be out for a while, and if all goes down the toilet, you can always heal and flee and run away from if you don't want to get hit a bunch of times. That, since the overworld is so small, you can just dart back to the castle. It doesn't take much, but this game can do a lot. That's why I enjoy it. Because Dragon Warrior, you are fun. And that's kind of the point. You get to mark out your own story. It really is up to the imagination when it comes to these games. This was based off a pencil and paper series like Dungeons and Dragons, so it really is up to the imagination. Because you're supposed to be writing this down like the king is. You should be in the perspective of the king. You write down as he writes down our hero's journey. And I think that's rather neat, because it's one of the few games that you really see from quite literally a third-person perspective. Forget Minecraft or whatever Zelda game. This is a true third-person perspective. And you get to interpret this any way you choose. You can make this game your own story. And that's kind of the fun of it, because making your own story is half the fun when it comes to RPGs. There's supposed to be a story, but there's not much of that story that is there. The rest is up for you to interpret in any way you choose. And that is why I find Dragon Warrior so neat. Now, a lot of my negative perspective is through gameplay, because I haven't seen a lot of the lore when it comes to the original Dragon Warrior. I'm sure if I somehow got my hands on some form of lore book, I might have a better perspective, but I don't think I'd have much fun with it. You know why? Because I think a lot less would be up to interpretation, and that kind of drains the fun about it. So I just like to keep myself in the dark. I haven't looked up any guides for this game, or any form of gameplay in general. I just occasionally listen to reviews of these games, and all in all, they're generally positive. And I think it's because Dragon Warrior, a lot of it is up for interpretation. It just didn't have the freedom to do whatever it pleased, because it was an NES game. With the later titles, it's a lot more freedom, with the Super Nintendo or the DS. A lot of those have a lot of options, and with a lot of options, you can create the perfect world, tied to you, tailored straight to you, and that way you can make it your own. Because that's what RPGs are about. You being in the role of this character, and being the hero. Well, it's not that fun when all you've got is stab, stab, jab, and all that crap. That's why a lot of it is up to perspective, because there's not a lot to do otherwise. I'm not saying that it's just absolutely boring and you should avoid it. God, no. It's one of my favorite RPGs, and a lot of people agree. I just think Dragon Warrior is bland. It's not good as I may make it out to be, and it's not as bad as some others may make it out to be. The gameplay is meh, but the game is for you to decide. It's not up to the creator, it's up to you. Take a pencil, write all this down. Try and make your own interpretation of the story. That is why Dragon Warrior is so fun. Hope you guys enjoyed. I hope to see you guys next time while I begin a more mainstream sort of game. Next time, we'll be journeying to Hyrule in The Legend of Zelda for the original Nintendo Entertainment System. Hope to see you guys soon. I'm excited. God help me.